Awakening. Introduction. The afternoon train and the return ticket. Dear friend, try closing your eyes and imagining our lives as a train ride. In the first carriages of our youth, we carried so much eagerness, fighting for the best tickets, and pushing our way to get a window seat to look out at the vast world out there. We rushed headlong, but now, as the train has rolled past the halfway point of life, and the afternoon sun has begun to cast long shadows on the platform, what do you feel sitting there? Is it a colossal sense of exhaustion? Welcome to the Autumn Wisdom Audiobooks, a sanctuary for healing and returning to your true nature. The illusion of success and the hole in the chest for half of our lives. We have played a game called Becoming Someone. We exhausted ourselves building the definitions that society calls success: a spacious house, a respected social position, grown-up children, and a bank account large enough to feel secure. We believed that, when we gathered enough of those puzzle pieces, the picture named happiness would automatically be completed. But what is the reality? There are quiet nights, when all the noisy sounds of the city settle down. You face yourself in the dark and suddenly realize an invisible emptiness in your chest. A gray, cold hole that no expensive item, no word of praise, or brilliant achievement can fill. You realize you have everything you ever wished for, but peace has evaporated somewhere. Or perhaps, you realize that even if you run breathlessly until the end of your life, the quota for this worldly greed is never enough. We are proud to have conquered the outside world, but have become exiles right in our own inner selves. The more things we own, the more we fear losing them. The higher we stand, the colder and lonelier the wind feels. That exhaustion does not come from tired muscles, but from a mind that constantly has to calculate, defend, compare, and shoulder rolls that are too heavy. We have forgotten our own home throughout that relentless chase. There is a heartbreaking truth. We have abandoned the only home that truly belongs to us. That is this body, this breath, this present moment. We are brilliant travelers in the material world. We can forecast the weather for next week, grasp the fluctuations of the stock market half a world away, and know by heart the sad and happy stories of strangers on social media. Yet, right in this moment, we don't even know our shoulders are tensing up. We don't realize our breath is broken and shallow. And we don't feel our heart beating hastily out of anxiety. We have used this body like a plowing machine to harvest goals, but have never truly been present inside it. We eat a delicious meal but our minds drift to tomorrow's meeting. We lie on a soft bed but our minds wander, agonizing over a past mistake. And so, we are present everywhere, except the only place we are truly living, right here, and right now. The inner home, long neglected, becomes cold, covered in the dust of endless trains of thought and uncleaned negative emotions. The insecurity you are experiencing is the cry of the inner child, from a home yearning for the warmth of its returning master. An invitation to let go if you are listening to these words and see your reflection in them. Please breathe a sigh of relief. You are not alone, and you are not on the wrong path. The confusion, the exhaustion, and the feeling of being disillusioned with illusory values are the best alarm bells. It signals that your soul is ready for a massive transformation. The audiobook you are listening to is not a manual teaching you any new skills to achieve new accomplishments. You are already too tired of having to do, having to try, having to become. Here, I am not handing you another burden. This is simply an invitation for you to buy a ticket to board the train back home. Return to the breath, return to every beat of the heart, return to the inherent pristine stillness within you. Together, we will practice the art of letting go and observing. Because the ultimate truth of the universe, the absolute peace you have been tirelessly seeking for half your life, inherently does not lie in some distant paradise. It has always been fully there, perfectly complete, right in the temple of your body. You only need to stop. Light the lamp of attention, and all the fogs of suffering will automatically vanish. Come, take off the coat of worldly worries, brew a warm cup of tea, and sit down here comfortably. We are beginning our journey home. Part 1. The Miraculous Temple. Chapter 1. The breath, the anchor amidst the storm. Have you ever realized that From the moment you let out your first cry at birth until the final second you close your eyes. There is a companion who has never left you. Not even for a split second? That friend does not demand, does not judge, and silently sustains your life even when you fall into a deep sleep or when you are busy chasing the furies of the world. That friend is the breath. We live a full lifetime, yet rarely give our breath the proper attention. We take it for granted, only when facing extreme panic, when drowning, or when an illness strikes and tightens our chest, do we suddenly realize how precious the breath is. But you do not have to wait until you stand at the boundary of life and death to start appreciating it. Right here and now, the breath is the master key to open the door back to peace. The breath is not a tool to control, but a friend to listen to when it comes to observing the breath. Many people often make a fundamental mistake. They try to control it. They start counting beats, forcing their chest to expand further, trying to inhale deeply and exhale slowly, believing that doing so is the standard way to calm the mind. That is the mindset of someone striving to achieve a goal. But mindfulness is not a rhythmic gymnastics routine. Your body possesses a great primitive intelligence. It knows exactly how much oxygen to take in and how much waste to push out without the direction of the conscious mind. Your task is simply to be a silent observer, a friend who knows how to listen, just like when you sit by the beach and watch the waves crashing. You cannot jump into the water and command, "Waves, roll higher," or "Waves, crash into the shore slower." You just sit there, on the fine sand, smiling and enjoying the natural dance of the ocean. Your breath is exactly like those waves. If the breath is short, let it be short and silently note, "Ah, I am breathing a short breath." If the breath is deep and long, acknowledge that depth and length. If you are angry and your breath becomes panting and rushed, do not force it to calm down immediately. Take a step back, gently observing that panting with forgiving compassion. When you no longer intervene, no longer judge right from wrong, the breath will automatically regulate itself according to its true natural rhythm. How the breath connects consciousness and the body. Why is our mind always tired? Because it bears the characteristics of a homeless wanderer, while your body is sitting right here, on this chair, in this very present moment. Your mind has the ability to travel across space and time. It can fly back 10 years to gnaw on a regret, or fast forward 10 years into the future to draw up disastrous scenarios filled with anxiety. The separation between body and mind is the root of all confusion and fear. But the breath is different. The breath has no past, nor does it have a future. You cannot rebreathe yesterday's breath, nor can you breathe in advance for tomorrow. The breath only ever exists in the here and now. Therefore, the breath is the strongest anchor. Imagine your mind is a boat drifting in the eye of a storm of endless thoughts. Waves of regret and winds of insecurity are waiting to capsize it. Right at that moment, the act of gently placing your attention on the air flowing in and out through your nostrils is the act of dropping the anchor into the deep, still ocean floor. When you clearly know, I am inhaling. The air is touching the edge of my nose. Slightly cool. I am exhaling. The air is pushing out. Slightly warm. A miracle instantly occurs. You cannot be fully focused on the physical sensation of the breath while simultaneously continuing to script an argument with a colleague in your head. The moment consciousness touches the breath, the flow of thought is immediately severed. Body and mind unite, and the boat is safely anchored at the shore of the present. Mini practice. The art of drinking a breeze. You don't need to find a deep cave in the mountains or cross your legs for hours to practice. Whenever you feel stressed, tired, or are simply waiting for a red light or an elevator, try experiencing this drinking a breeze exercise. Relax your shoulders, do not force anything. Simply shift your attention to the tip of your nose or your abdominal area. As the air automatically rushes in, imagine you are enjoying a cool, refreshing breeze from nature. Feel the life flowing into every cell. Taste that stream of air like tasting a sip of the purest tea. When the air flows out, smile gently, feeling the deflation of your chest. You are not pushing it out, but simply witnessing the release. If your mind starts to wander, thinking about what to eat tonight or how to handle tomorrow's bills, that is completely normal. The mind was born to think. Do not blame yourself for being incompetent or unfocused. The moment you realize, My mind has wandered off again. That is exactly the moment of mindfulness. Give yourself a forgiving smile. And gently, patiently take the hand of your consciousness and lead it back to the breeze flowing in and out. With just a few complete breaths like that, you will find your chest feels light, and the storm outside seems to have taken a long step back. Chapter 2. The symphony of ordinary movements. We are infected with the belief that life is only truly meaningful in grand moments. We wait for graduation day, promotion day, wedding day, an expensive vacation, or the moment we achieve some great accomplishment to allow ourselves to be happy. We frame miracles within the extraordinary, but if we look closely, those grand moments make up less than 1% of our entire lifespan. The remaining 99% of life is filled with very trivial and ordinary things. Waking up, brushing our teeth, walking, cooking, washing dishes, driving, working, and repeating. If we do not learn to find life in that 99% of ordinary moments, essentially, we are wasting a whole lifetime. The miracle is not walking on water, but walking on the earth with completeness. When thinking of Zen masters or enlightened beings, the crowd's mentality often attributes superhuman powers to them, but the truth is entirely the opposite. The greatest power of mindfulness does not lie in floating in the air or seeing through the past and future. The truest miracle is the ability to place each firm footstep on this earth, knowing with absolute certainty that one is walking. Recall how you walked from your bed to the bathroom this morning. Did your feet automatically step out of mechanical habit, while your mind had already flown straight to the office? Beginning to worry about the presentation? You were present in your house, but your consciousness was absent. You were like a ghost gliding through your own living space. Walking is not just a means of getting from point A to point B. The journey from point A to point B is life itself. Next time, when you walk, whether from your desk to the water cooler, or from your car into the house, try bringing your mind back to your feet. Feel the contact of the soles of your feet with the floor. Feel the weight of your body shifting from the heel to the toes. Notice the left foot lifting, the right foot staying planted, just walking with such complete attention. Change the way you interact with reality. When you wash the dishes, the highest purpose is not to make the dishes clean, but the purpose is to wash the dishes. Wash the dishes to truly live in that moment. Turn the sink into a space of purification. Notice the temperature of the water touching your skin. Listen to the popping of the soap bubbles, and feel the smooth surface of the plate. Observe your hands gracefully cleaning everything, and do not look forward to it ending. When your mind becomes one with your hands and the water, with no judgment and no urging, washing dishes will become a smooth dance of attention. You can also apply this to pouring a cup of tea, sweeping a room, or arranging a vase of flowers. When pouring water, it is just pouring water. Listen to the babbling water flowing into the cup, and observe the thin steam rising and rolling in the air. At this moment, you are no longer an individual full of anxieties and bills to pay. You are just the person pouring tea, silent, complete, and graceful. How being present with the current moment washes the mind of worldly troubles. We often spend a lot of money and time looking for ways to detox the body, but forget to cleanse the mind. Worldly troubles, rivalry, envy, the fear of loss, the resentment of being treated unfairly, are like layers of mud clinging to the consciousness day after day. Being fully present is the coolest stream to wash away those layers of mud. Why? Because suffering always needs material to exist. And that material is the stories in the past or the scenarios in the future woven by the mind. When you put 100% of your attention into chewing a bite of rice thoroughly, savoring the sweetness of the grain, then the irritation from a colleague's thoughtless remark that morning instantly loses its space to exist. Complete presence does not require you to thoroughly solve every problem in life. It simply creates pauses, clear spaces where the mind is no longer entangled in the spider web of analyzing right and wrong. When you tidy up a room with complete attention, you will be surprised to find, not only does the room become clean, but the cluttered corners of your mind have also just been rearranged, becoming clear and peaceful. Chapter 3. Listening to the truth from aging and illness. If there is a common fear that connects all of humanity in modern society, it is the fear of aging and illness. We have built a massive multi-billion-dollar industry, from cosmetics and plastic surgery to dietary supplements, just to serve a grand illusion, delaying the decay of the body. But no matter how hard we try, or how much money we pour into hiding wrinkles and clinging to youth, the laws of nature always operate coldly and fairly. This body is born, grows up, ages, and will inevitably wither away. Evading that truth only brings immense suffering. Instead of treating the aging body as an enemy to be covered up and fought against, it is time we sat down, faced it, and learned to listen to the authentic messages it brings. The body is a book written about the order of nature. Every human body is a miniature universe, containing all the operating laws of heaven and earth. The wrinkles at the corners of your eyes are not a tragedy of beauty, they are evidence of time. The smiles and the tears you have experienced in life. A strand of white hair is not a sign of being over the hill. It is the color of crystallization. Of the long days you poured your heart and soul into shouldering responsibilities. An ache in the knee joints, a weary sigh when climbing stairs, or age spots appearing on the back of your hands, they are not saboteurs. They are the greatest, most truthful teachers, constantly knocking on the door to remind you of a truth your mind always wants to ignore: impermanence. We suffer as we age because we cling to an image in the past. We stand in front of the mirror, looking at our loose body of the present, regretting and comparing it with the firm, radiant version of our 20s. The disparity between reality and illusory desires creates an agonizing sorrow. But if you view aging as an inevitable flow of nature, just like autumn leaves must fall, and rivers flowing to the sea must dissolve, you will see every change on the body carries its own beauty of maturity. The body is teaching you the lesson of letting go. You cannot hold on to anything in this world forever, including your own physical form. You are not this body. This body is just a shirt you are wearing. The secret to a peaceful middle and old age lies in a shift in perception. You must separate the boundary between I and my body. From childhood, we are taught to identify ourselves with our physical appearance. I am tall. I am short. I am beautiful. I am ugly. I am healthy. I am sick. This identification is dangerous because, when the body is healthy, we are proud, but when the body weakens, our ego collapses, and we feel useless and lose our self-worth. Imagine this. When you enter life, the universe hands you a shirt called a body so you have a vehicle to experience the material world. You wear that shirt for 10, 20, 50 years. Over time, a shirt, no matter how carefully preserved, will eventually have frayed shoulders, broken threads, and faded colors. When the shirt gets a hole, do you sit crying and think, I am torn? No. You know very well that you are the wearer of the shirt, not the shirt itself. This body is the same. You have a body, but you are not just this body. When you have a stomachache, it is the stomach raising an alarm about physical damage, not your core being destroyed. When your eyes blur, it is the optical lens of the camera aging, but the observer inside you never ages or becomes opaque. The clear awareness inside you at the age of 80 remains as intact and fresh as your awareness when you were 8. Understanding this, you will learn to care for your body with a completely different attitude. You still take medicine, exercise, and see a doctor, but you do so with gratitude and gentle care for a companion who has been dedicated to you for many years. Not with a panicked attitude, fearing death, or trying to violently intervene in the natural decay. You look at your aging body with eyes of understanding. When the shirt becomes old and frayed, we patch it if necessary. keep it clean, and calmly accept that one day we must take it off to return it to dust. As gently as the way we take off dusty travel clothes at the end of a long day. Chapter 4. Liberation from doing nothing. Imagine you are a smartphone. From early dawn until late at night, you constantly open dozens of applications at the same time: work apps, family apps, social media apps, financial planning apps. The screen is always bright. The processor is always running at maximum capacity, and notifications explode continuously. You rarely ever truly turn off. Even when lying in bed, the thinking apps in your head continue to run in the background, draining the last percentages of the battery. That is exactly how we treat our nervous system and body. We are programmed to believe that a person's value lies in their productivity. If we do nothing, a feeling of guilt immediately appears. We fear falling behind and becoming useless. Even when we say we are resting, we are actually still forcing the mind to work. We scroll our phones for news, watch a dramatic movie, or sit and chat about others' troubles. Neural stimulation continues. Your body and mind have never truly rested at their roots. It is time you learned the greatest art of recovery, the art of doing nothing. State of deep relaxation. The body scan journey. Stress does not just hover in the head. It settles as physical matter on every muscle fiber of yours. Your eyebrows often furrow. Your neck and shoulders are as stiff as rocks. Your teeth clench unconsciously. Your stomach churns whenever you worry. And your body is shouldering subtle psychological traumas every day. To release this blockage, you need a method called deep relaxation, or body scan. This is when you allow yourself to be completely useless on purpose. Find a quiet space and lie on your back on the floor or on a surface that isn't too soft. Let your arms hang loosely along your body, palms facing up. Spread your legs shoulder-width apart, letting your toes fall naturally to the sides. And close your eyes. At this moment, you don't need to try to change anything. Transform into a gentle ray of attention, slowly shining from the top of your head down to your heels. Bring your consciousness to the top of your head. Feel your scalp, down to your forehead, down to your eyes, down to your cheeks and jaw. Simply feeling. I am bringing my attention to my eyes. I am bringing my attention to my lips. Continue moving that ray of light down your neck, shoulders, spreading along your arms to your 10 fingertips. Then slowly shine it down the chest, heart, abdomen, thighs, knees, lower legs, and finally the soles of the feet. You are not rushing. You are taking a walk inside the temple of your own body, a place you have neglected for far too long. Healing from just noticing and not forcing during this body scan process. The crucial secret is, absolutely do not try to force the muscles to relax. Sounds contradictory, doesn't it? We are always taught, when you are stressed, try to relax, but the word try itself is a new stress. When you command, shoulders, loosen up, why are you so stiff? You are pushing resistance into the body. You are turning the body into an object to be molded by willpower. Instead, the method of mindfulness is, just acknowledge and smile. When the light of attention goes to the shoulder area and you realize your shoulders are stiff and aching, do not judge it, and do not force it to soften. Simply send a silent greeting. Hello. Tension in the shoulder. I see you. I know you are there. And encompass that shoulder area with a smile of understanding and compassion. You treat the aching muscle just as a gentle mother hugs a crying child. The mother does not yell, "Stop it. No crying." She just hugs and says, "I'm here. I know you are sad." That unconditional space of tolerance makes the child automatically stop crying. Your body operates with the exact same miraculous self-healing mechanism. When an aching or stiff muscle area is seen and accepted by consciousness without any intervention or coercion, it will automatically relax. The resistance disappears, giving way to the natural flow of blood and energy. The body's self-healing capacity is boundless. If consciousness, with its dry demands and commands, steps back and gives the stage to nature. In doing nothing, in the absolute letting go of body and mind, life is renewed from the roots, silent, profound, and full of strength. Part 2. The waves and the ocean, exploring the world of sensations. If the body is a solid temple, the world of sensations inside you is a vast, continuously shifting ocean. Every day, from waking up until falling asleep, you experience thousands of different micro-sensations. There are pleasant, caressing sensations like a spring breeze, frustrating, painful sensations like fierce waves waiting to drown you, and also states so calm and bland that you don't even bother to notice. Most of us are living like blindfolded sailors, drifting aimlessly on that ocean. We panic and run away when encountering fierce waves, unpleasant sensations. And we frantically cling to and crave the smooth waves, pleasant sensations. Our lives become an exhausting loop of running away and chasing. It is time for you to take off the blindfold, stand firmly on the deck of mindfulness, and realize a great truth. You are the entire silent ocean, not the undulating waves on the surface. Chapter 5. Do not argue with the pain, dear friend. Try to recall the last time you were sick, or simply cut your finger by accident while cooking. What really happened in that moment? As the knife grazed your skin, the body immediately sent a nerve signal to the brain. You felt a sting, a sharp pain, bleeding. That is a purely biological phenomenon. It is the alarm bell of the body's temple, indicating that a patch of cells has just been damaged and needs care. If everything stopped there, you would just get a bandage, stop the bleeding, and continue your work with a minor inconvenience. But no, our minds rarely leave things alone like that. The moment the physical pain appears, a noisy voice in the head immediately screams, "Oh my God! It hurts so much. Why am I so clumsy? How unlucky. What if this wound gets infected? What if it leaves a scar? Damn it, that ruins the whole evening." Do you see? The knife only cut your hand once, but your mind stabbed dozens of other invisible knives into your soul. The exhaustion, resentment, and frustration you feel afterward actually do not come from the cut finger, but from you arguing with reality. Separating physical pain and mental suffering, we need to clarify a crucial formula in human psychology. Suffering equals physical pain x resistance. Physical pain, or unpleasant sensations in general, is an inevitable part of owning a biological body and living in a volatile world. You cannot demand the weather not to change so you don't get a headache. You cannot force cells to stop aging so your knee joints don't ache. Pain is a signal of life, but suffering is an entirely different story. Suffering is a product woven by your own mind. Suffering appears when you refuse to accept the pain, when you tense up against it, when you cry and complain, "Why me? I don't want this feeling." You are creating immense friction inside. That friction suffocates the nervous system, turning a normal ache into a tragedy of destiny. The truth is, you cannot completely erase the physical pain on your body, but you completely have the right to choose not to invite additional suffering into your mind. The key here is separation. You must learn to be an objective scientist, stepping back to observe the phenomenon happening inside you, instead of jumping in to be the main character of a tragedy. The art of embracing discomfort. Seeing everything as purely physical phenomena. How do you stop arguing with the pain? The answer lies in the art of embracing it and giving it space to exist. Suppose tonight, you return home after an exhausting day of work. Your neck and shoulders are stiff, and you have a splitting headache. Normal instinct will urge you to grab a painkiller, throw yourself on the bed, and moan in frustration. But today, try a different approach. Sit down or lie comfortably and close your eyes. Shine the light of attention straight onto the place emitting the pain. Now, peel that pain away from the woven stories of the mind. Don't call it, "my terrible headache." View it as a cluster of vibrating energy. Does it have a shape? Is it throbbing in spasms? Or is it a dull ache? Does it have a color? Is it hot or cold? Does it radiate out or just concentrate in one spot? As you become curiously observant of the pain from the perspective of pure physical sensations, hot, cold, tight, tense, throbbing, sharp, a miracle will happen. The ego, enduring the pain, naturally disappears. Only the silent observer and the occurring physical phenomenon remain. You realize that the sensation of pain does not stand still, it constantly changes. Sometimes it flares up fiercely. Sometimes it subsides. Sometimes it moves from the temples to the back of the neck. It is like a dark cloud passing across the sky of your consciousness. The sky does not try to chase the cloud away, nor does it cling to it. The sky simply contains it. Smiling and giving pain the space to exist. The hardest part for us is allowing unpleasant things the right to exist. We always want to kick them out as quickly as possible, but the more you push it away, the harder it bounces back with stronger intensity. Instead of considering chest tightness, backache, or utter exhaustion as enemies, try treating them like wounded children crying out for their mother's attention. When a child cries, if you yell, "Shut up! You're deafening me," the child will panic and cry louder. But if you pick the child up, gently soothing, "I'm here. I know you're uncomfortable," the crying will slowly quiet down and stop entirely. Your body also needs such unconditional love. When pain appears, direct your attention toward it and silently say, "I know you are there. I feel this tightness. It's okay. I allow you to exist here right now." Even give your pain a gentle smile. That smile is not forced or sarcastic, but a symbol of absolute letting go. Smiling means the facial muscles relax, and the nervous system receives a safety signal. There is no war here. When you no longer argue with the present and no longer chase away the pain, your inner space naturally expands boundlessly. The pain may still be there, but it is just a small drop of ink falling into a vast lake. Instead of dropping into a cramped glass of water, it gets diluted, and no longer has the power to suffocate your peace. You can completely feel the muscle ache while leisurely sipping tea with ultimate serenity. Chapter 6. The Trap of Sweet Pleasure. If overcoming and facing pain is a difficult lesson, then escaping the trap of pleasure is an infinitely more sophisticated art. We are always programmed by society with a deep belief: happiness equals maximizing pleasant feelings and minimizing unpleasant ones. Therefore, we spend our entire time, vitality, and intellect of a lifetime just chasing experiences that bring sweetness. We crave a gourmet meal, an outfit that makes others marvel, a powerful position that makes crowds bow, or simply words of praise that stroke our fragile egos. But have you ever wondered why, despite achieving many things you wished for, your satisfaction has never lasted more than a few days, or even hours? Why, after every explosive party, after every expensive purchase, what waits for you when you return to an empty room is a spine-chilling sense of emptiness? That is because you fell into a trap, a sugar-coated trap of the sensory world. Recognizing trivial desires, the thirst for salt water. Let us dissect the desires we cherish daily. The need to eat well, dress beautifully, crave recognition, or crave power, in themselves carry no sin. The sin lies in us using them for the wrong purpose. We take pleasant sensations from the outside as food to fill the emptiness inside. When you eat a delicious slice of cake, the explosion of taste stimulates the brain to release dopamine, the hormone of excitement. You feel ecstatic, but how long does that feeling last? A few dozen seconds while the cake is in your mouth. When the cake has gone down to the stomach, the pleasant feeling immediately vanishes. When you are promoted or praised by others, your ego swells with pride. The feeling of power is intoxicating, but only a few days later, that excitement becomes ordinary. You start feeling new pressures, and you crave greater recognition, an even higher position. Satisfaction derived from external objects is exactly like drinking seawater when you are thirsty. As the cold water runs down your throat, you think the thirst is quenched. But seawater is full of salt. It drains the water from your cells, making you thirstier the more you drink. We keep running on an invisible treadmill, continuously chasing new goals, continuously consuming material pleasures and fame, but never truly reaching the destination of complete peace. We are exhausted, but dare not stop for fear of having to face ourselves. Observing the fleeting passing of pleasant feelings. To break this illusion, you must shine the light of mindfulness onto the most ecstatic moments. Just like observing pain, now, observe joy. When you are enjoying a dish you absolutely love, chew very slowly. Do not let your mind drift anywhere. Recognize the enjoyment arising in your mind. Ah, this sweetness is making me feel good. I am very happy. And then, continue to observe what happens when the sweetness fades. Look straight into the end of that pleasant sensation. You will see a naked truth. Every caressing sensation, Every earth-shattering joy, ultimately is just a stream of energy passing through the nervous system. It comes and goes as fast as lightning, it has no solid physical form, it is impermanent. Emptiness always appears right behind satisfaction. If you are not aware of this, that emptiness will turn into craving. Your mind will immediately instigate, great, I want more, I want another bite, I want to be praised like that again tomorrow. It is the attachment, the clinging to and craving for the repetition of that pleasant experience that is the root of suffering. You become an addict, a slave to your own pleasures. Liberating yourself from the addiction of always needing to feel happy. Modern society is suffering from a severe chronic illness, the addiction to positivity. We are pumped with the idea that you must always be happy, always full of energy, always joyful. Whenever a sadness passes by or boredom appears, we immediately panic and try to cover it up by going shopping, scrolling social media, drinking alcohol, or seeking a pastime to distract ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to be normal. We are obsessed with maintaining an ecstatic state everywhere, all the time. True liberation is not trying to eradicate desires or reject all joys in life. Mindfulness does not turn you into a lifeless log, turning your back on all the beauty of life. The key to freedom lies in the attitude, enjoy, but do not attach. You can still sit in a luxury restaurant, enjoying a premium meal, but you eat with completeness and gratitude in that moment. When the meal ends, you smile, wipe your mouth, and stand up. You do not store that taste in your mind to crave, compare, or feel disappointed if you have to eat a simple meal tomorrow. The appetite comes and goes. You're just the quiet sky for that white cloud to pass through. You can still dress well and still receive praise. But when someone compliments you, you smile and acknowledge their kindness. Instead of letting that praise penetrate inside and inflate your ego, you know clearly that honor is just a bubble on the surface of the ocean. Your heart is not agitated when the praise fades, or even if it turns into bitter criticism the next day. You still stand firm and calm like a mountain unmoved by the wind. Only when you are ready to give up the addiction of chasing trivial external joys will you have enough quiet space to taste a much higher kind of happiness. That is inner bliss, a deep, soothing, and enduring peace, independent of anyone, any circumstance, or any material thing out there. That happiness is inherently an asset already available within you. It's just that previously, you were too busy chasing illusions, so you never once returned to touch your own treasure. Part 3. The sky behind the clouds, observing mind activity. After learning to dwell in the body's temple and understanding the ocean of sensations, we now enter one of the most complex, loudest, but also most crucial territories for ultimate freedom, the mind. If you try to sit quietly for just 3 minutes, you will realize an astonishing truth. Your head is not quiet at all. There is a waterfall of images, sounds, memories, plans, judgments, and self-directed dialogues constantly flowing. We often mistake ourselves for that waterfall. But dear friend, you are not the muddy, swirling water. You are the vast sky embracing it all. It is time we learn to fly above the waterfall, stand on the quiet shore, and watch the thought clouds drift across the sky of our consciousness. Chapter 7. Standing outside the mind's cinema. From childhood, as we babbled our first words, we were trained to use thinking as a survival tool. Thinking helps us calculate, plan, remember the way home, solve math, or build a career. But over time, a quiet disaster occurred. That tool usurped control. We no longer use thoughts. Thoughts have turned us into their slaves. You are not your thoughts. One of our greatest illusions is the blind belief, I think, therefore I am. We identify our grand being with the voice constantly babbling in our head. Try a small test. Close your eyes right now and ask yourself, I wonder what my next thought will be, and wait. What happens? A gap, a brief silence appears before a new thought rushes out. What does that moment prove? It proves there are two entities inside you. One is the thoughts that come and go. The other is the one waiting and observing those thoughts. If you are the thoughts, who is just observing them? The truth is, you are not your thoughts. Thoughts are just clouds, and you are the sky. Some days the sky is full of dark storm clouds of despair. Other days it holds light, Fluffy white clouds of joy. But black or white, they just pass by. The sky remains there, immutable, transparent, and untarnished by the clouds. Identifying yourself with your thoughts is like the sky thinking it is the dark cloud passing by. Feeling utterly gloomy and miserable. The cinema of the mind. Imagine stepping into a dark cinema. A gripping tragedy plays on the giant screen. You are so engrossed that you forget you're sitting on a cushioned seat. When the protagonist is betrayed, your heart pounds, hands clench, and tears fall. You are angry, resentful. In that moment, you are fully absorbed into the movie. Suddenly, someone taps your shoulder. You startle and turn around. The moment you look away from the screen, you awaken. I am sitting in a cinema. Those are just actors, light projected on a white canvas. There is no blood or betrayal actually happening here. The suffering and tension instantly vanish. Our mind is a cinema operating 24/7 without days off. It constantly replays past movies, a spouse's harsh words from last year, a boss's dissatisfaction from last month, or it projects sci-fi movies about the future, bankruptcy, children falling astray, or fatal illnesses, and we sit there, in our own cinema, swept away by those illusions. We cry, laugh, get angry, and lose sleep over things not even present in this moment. Mindfulness is the gentle tap on the shoulder making you realize that is just a movie directed by the mind. You learn to step back, sitting firmly in the seat of observation. You still see thoughts running on the screen, but you stop jumping in to play the actor. You stand outside and smile. Recognizing the ego babbling in your head, the director, lead actor, and the loudest commentator in that cinema is what we call the ego or ego self. How to recognize its voice? It is easily unmasked by these traits. It always judges and labels. Seeing a raggedly dressed person, the voice says, looks sloppy, probably lazy. It constantly labels things, good, bad, right, wrong, beautiful, ugly. It cannot view a flower simply as a flower but argues, this flower is prettier than yesterday's. But sadly it's fading. It constantly compares and envies. It feeds its existence by weighing you against others. Why is he more successful? I am so incompetent. Or, she isn't exceptional. Just lucky. It is demanding and dissatisfied with the present. The babbler never wants you to be at peace now. Drinking tea. It says, this is bland. Music would make it better. Achieving success. It lets you be happy for a few minutes before urging, now aim for a bigger goal. It lives in the past tense, regret, and the future tense, anxiety. Craving. Automatic silence under the light of awareness. You cannot use force to stop the mind from thinking. Command yourself, I forbid thinking about a red monkey. And that image becomes clearest. Trying to suppress thoughts only fuels them. The ultimate secret to mastering this babbler is highly passive. Just notice it talking. Like hearing two children bickering in a room. You don't need to yell. Just open the door and silently watch them. Realizing they are watched, they stop immediately. When the mind weaves jealousy or anger, gently shine awareness on it. A judging thought arises. I see you. Don't chase it away or follow it. Just light the lamp of presence. Under clear awareness, illusions dissolve. The ego cannot operate without your identification. Like a dark demon, it vanishes in sunlight. The clear sky of a silent mind naturally emerges without effort. Chapter 8. The storm clouds, anger, fear, and loneliness. Among the clouds are not just white joys, but black clouds of thunder and storm. These are intense negative emotions, burning rage, suffocating fear, or biting loneliness. When these hit, we react instinctively in two ways, suppressing them, or exploding and venting on others. Both lead to destruction. We must become professional storm watchers, standing still in the eye of the storm with supreme silence. Trapped energy. The mistake of suppression and explosion. We are educated to be civilized, meaning hiding anger or weakness. Boys don't cry. Girls must be gentle. No yelling. Thus, we lock rising anger or fear in the unconscious basement. But emotions are biological energy flows. Energy doesn't naturally disappear. Swallowing anger doesn't solve it. It turns into poison in your cells. It becomes chronic stomach aches, stiff necks, tumors, and smoldering depression. Conversely, throwing a glass or spewing toxic words to punish someone doesn't release anger. Venting is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. Rage multiplies, spreading and creating endless revenge and suffering. Don't handle storms with thoughts. Return to the body what to do when the storm hits. The secret: absolutely do not process emotions with thoughts. If someone insults you, anger flares. Using thoughts, your mind replays it. How dare he? I must humiliate him back. Thinking fans the flames. Thoughts are the #1 fuel for negative emotions. Cut off that fuel. Immediately shift your attention away from the person and the mental story, and return to observing physical manifestations on your body. You switch from a victim to a scientist observing physiology. Close your eyes or soften your gaze, and scan. My heart is pounding fast. My face is hot. Blood is rushing to my head. My breath is shallow and rapid. My hands are clenched, nails digging into palms. You give the fire space to burn without adding the firewood of thoughts. You stand as a witness to the burning. Miraculous disappearance under the light of awareness. The miracle happens when you completely observe the physical storm. Emotions are impermanent. They arise, peak, and inevitably fade. Without added thoughts, anger, fear, or loneliness biologically last only 90 seconds to a few minutes. Shine the light of awareness on the tight chest or hot face. Smiling gently, I see you. Blow, storm, I am here with you. Resistance collapses. You embrace the storm with compassion. Darkness cannot exist when the light is on. Under silent, non-judgmental observation, the storm loses its manipulative power. Your heart rate slows, face cools, breathing deepens, anger passes without destroying your body or hurting others. Fear leaves solid peace behind. You purify toxic energy not by struggling, but through mindfulness and boundless tolerance for your inner shadows. Chapter 9. The Silent Mind, an Autumn Lake Through Storms and Cinemas. We reach the core state of liberation, a silent mind. Many mistake a silent mind for an empty, senseless head like a rock, or an ecstatic, glowing state of floating on clouds hearing saints. The truth is simpler and more magical. It isn't in a distant paradise. It is a clear, still autumn lake present right amidst the chaos of earthly life. The state of just being, the perfection of the present moment. We suffer from a terminal illness called becoming. Since birth, we are urged to become something. A good student, wealthy, a perfect parent, even on the spiritual path. We want to become a Zen master or achieve purity. As long as you want to become something in the future, you reject reality and suffer. Mindfulness invites you into the dimension of being. Being means fully accepting everything exactly as it is, wanting nothing more, nothing less, with no desire to alter. Imagine sweeping leaves on an autumn morning. If infected with becoming, you think, I wish I were done fast to drink tea. I wish my yard were tiled and leafless. I wish I were relaxing, not cleaning. Your mind is at war with reality. You suffer because you reject being the sweeper. In the state of being, it's different. You are just the leaf sweeper. The bamboo broom rustles, dry leaves smell earthy. Sunlight filters onto your shoulders. You don't wish to be great. You don't rush, nor crave nirvana. You unite with the broom's rhythm. Sweeping leaves becomes the universe's most divine act. Right here, right now, you are complete, lacking nothing. That is liberation. The lake reflects everything exactly as it is freed from winds of craving or fear. The mind settles like an autumn lake. Its greatest trait? True reflection. A flock of birds flies by. The lake reflects them. It doesn't hold them back, nor mourn their departure. A dark cloud approaches. The lake reflects it. It doesn't fear or chase the cloud. Under a blue sky, the lake is deep blue. When the moon rises, it embraces the bright moon. The lake receives and reflects the true form of everything, without distortion or commentary, returning to silence once they pass. Your silent mind operates identically. When scolded, your mind registers sound and anger exactly as it happens. It doesn't replay the words or deduce, he has hated me for a long time. You see the anger as a passing cloud. When finished, the mind returns to stillness. No grudges held, no damage taken, facing a bill or illness. The lake mind sees reality. This is a bill to pay. This is a symptom to check. It reflects sharply to take precise action, without creating a fog of panic or self-pity. Absolute freedom in daily life. A silent mind doesn't mean abandoning life. You still work, care for children, plan trips, and face market fluctuations. You are still you, but with a new operating system. You act with complete attention, unattached to results. You love deeply, without possessing. You face life's ups and downs like a passenger watching a river flow, calm, peaceful, smiling freely. Crave no distant heaven, because with a silent, reflecting mind, every breathing moment, whether on a living room sofa or in a traffic jam, is the most exquisite paradise the universe has granted you. Part 4. Touching the truth of all things, exploring the laws of nature. You have journeyed far, from reconnecting with the body's temple through breath and footsteps, to understanding the ocean of sensations, and standing on the silent shore to observe the mind's cinema. Now, with a clear inner space, unclouded by prejudice or desire, you are ready for mindfulness's final, greatest gift, seeing the truth of all things. This truth isn't in dry physics or lofty philosophy. It unfolds brilliantly before you, in a falling autumn leaf, a drifting cloud, and every heartbeat in your chest. Touching these natural laws, half a lifetime's burden drops. You stop fighting the world, realizing you and the world have always danced together in perfect rhythm. Chapter 10. The Dance of Birth and Death, Continuous Change. Humans possess an intense, tragic desire, the thirst for eternity. We build stone houses, sign forever marriage contracts, hoard money for an unchangeable future, and buy cosmetics to cling to youth. We live on the illusion that trying hard enough freezes time and keeps what we love. But the universe plays a different tune. From breath to universe, nothing stands still. Return to the basics, the breath. Inhaling deeply feels full and pleasant. Can you hold it forever? No. Seconds later, your body screams to expel it. If you hold on, life ends. Breath must be born, and then die to make way for the next. Sensation is similar. An itch peaks, then vanishes. The excitement of a song lasts minutes, then sinks into silence. View the broader world through this lens, and the law of continuous change rules everything. A seed cracks, grows into a tree, flowers, fruits, and eventually falls, decaying into compost for a new seed. Clouds gather and dissolve into rain. Rivers change course. Cells die and regenerate millions of times per second. Scientifically, every 7 years, your entire body is completely renewed. Biologically, you today and you 7 years ago are different entities. Nothing stands still. Change is not a flaw of creation, it is the mandatory foundation for life's continuation. If immutable, a seed remains a seed. A child never grows, and the world becomes a deadly wax museum. The root of tragedy. Arguing with the laws of nature, we suffer not because things change, but because we refuse to accept it. Our mind wants to anchor good things in place. We want our lover's affection today to match yesterday's, and remain so for 10 years. But people are rivers of emotion. They grow, change perspectives, and are impacted by circumstances. When love transforms or leaves, the sky falls. We scream at betrayal, but really we scream at nature's laws. Possessing a good job or wealth, we identify our worth with them. If the economy crashes and wealth vanishes, some end their lives thinking all is lost. We forget that money and status are just energy gathering and dispersing. Attachment is the invisible iron clamp strangling our soul. It forces us to guard what is born to drift away. The tighter you grip, the more the friction of things slipping away shreds your heart. Removing attachment. Free love once you see the dance of birth and death. A miraculous shift occurs. Loss isn't a tragedy, but an essential part of beauty. A wise man held a beautiful glass and said, "Do you see this glass is beautiful? To me, it is. It's clear, reflects light, and holds water. But in my mind, it is already broken. Its nature is fragile. A breeze or a clumsy hand will shatter it. Because I know it will break, I treasure every second I hold it. When it truly breaks, I don't cry. I clean the pieces and smile. For its time had come." That is the awake attitude. Detachment doesn't mean being cold or abandoning family. Conversely, knowing your loved ones are like the glass, not here forever, awakens you from procrastination. You stop arguing over trivia or saving love for someday. You are 100% present, loving them brilliantly today. You cherish every held hand and smile, knowing it is unique and unrepeatable. Your love becomes crystal clear, without demands, jealousy, or control. You love them for existing, not to possess them. When parting comes, via circumstance or death, you feel pure human sorrow. But no despair. You peacefully let go, smile goodbye, and carry profound gratitude for their role in your life's play. Continuous change is a blessing, not a cruel curse. Because of it, present suffering passes, and every beauty is worth treasuring to the last breath. Chapter 11. The Symphony Without a Conductor, the Giant Connection. Throughout life, we are infected with a deep, false illusion, separation. Look at your body, touch your skin. Your skin forms a physical boundary. You believe what's inside is I, and everything outside is the world, others. From this imaginary boundary, the structures of selfishness, fear, and wars form. We constantly fight to protect this small I from a vast, threatening world. But in mindfulness is light, that boundary does not exist. Looking deep into the body, you are a miniature universe. Take an imaginary journey. Look at the apple you ate. Where did it come from? Not naturally from a supermarket shelf. It needed a seed. The seed needed fertile soil. The soil needed rain from clouds. Clouds formed from ocean water evaporated by the sun. The tree needed sunlight to photosynthesize, bees for pollination, and a farmer's sweat. You chewed and swallowed it. Stomach acid digested it into nutrients, absorbing into blood to become your muscle and brain cells. See the miracle? Your body currently contains sunlight, ocean water, red soil from a countryside, and strangers' labor. Without sunlight, you die. Without rain, you thirst. Without vegetation releasing oxygen, you suffocate in minutes. The body you call I has zero self-generated elements. Everything making you is borrowed from the universe. Your bones are the earth's minerals, your veins are rivers. Your warmth is the sun's fire. You are not a lonely island, you are the water drops making up the ocean. The collapse of the illusory ego, seeing the nature of all things. The independent, eternal I bursts like a soap bubble in sunlight. Strip away the air you breathe, the water you drink, your food, your socially taught language and knowledge. What remains of I? Nothing. Realizing you are an assembly of elements that are not you. All arrogance, pride, or inferiority becomes ridiculous. How can one water drop boast to another? How can a leaf proudly claim independence from roots? Supreme freedom appears when this small I collapses. It expands your borders infinitely instead of making you disappear. You are no longer caged in a physical form or an ID card name. You integrate completely into the grand web of life. Spontaneous love. No boundary between self and other. A wonderful consequence of this giant connection is the fading of selfishness and the blooming of compassion. Knowing the person before you, a beggar, a difficult colleague, or someone who hurt you, is made of the exact same elements and bears the same pain, fear, and desires. You cannot harbor hatred. Hurting others is hurting yourself. The Amazon burns halfway around the world, but its smoke chokes your air. A suffering person beyond the wall emits a gloomy energy affecting your sleep. We are bound in a dense, intricate, inseparable energy web. You begin acting with unconditional love. Helping someone fall isn't for karma, reward, or moral obligation. It is an automatic reflex, like the right hand massaging the aching left hand without demanding gratitude. There is no I am helping you, only life caring for life. You become a clear, graceful note, harmonizing into the earth's grand symphony, a perfect symphony needing no conductor. Chapter 12. The Great Letting Go. We reach the final chapter, where theory must transform into a daily lifestyle. This final turning point is letting go. Society deeply misunderstands freedom. We are taught freedom is the ability to do whatever we want. Having money to buy anything, power to command others, time to travel. We work crazily, trampling each other for these tickets to freedom. Ironically, once achieved, you find yourself in a newer, more sophisticated prison, the prison of endless desires. With $1 million, you lose sleep fearing inflation, craving 2 million. With power, you constantly fear being overthrown. Freedom measured by satisfying desires is fake. It makes you a puppet to your endless cravings. Redefining freedom. No longer bound by what you want, mindfulness entirely reverses freedom. True freedom isn't achieving everything, but absolute inner stillness, where you are unbound by anything, even what you desperately desire. Think of an eagle soaring. It is completely free. The sky doesn't own it, and it doesn't crave owning the sky. It uses wind to fly, but glides on its own wings when the wind stops. It doesn't angrily demand wind or attach to its direction. You, too, letting go doesn't mean giving up or quitting life. Letting go is giving up the need to control outcomes. Craving to build a valuable startup? Do it with all your passion and intellect. But having done your best, let go. If it succeeds brilliantly, smile and receive it. If it fails, smile and receive the failure as a natural lesson. No agonizing or blaming, because your inner self isn't tied to the company's success. The company is the company, you are you. Love someone sincerely? Let go of the notion to control them. If they love you, you dance a beautiful dance. If they want to leave, open the door and wish them peace. Your heart isn't impoverished when they leave, because love radiates from within you, not something begged from them. Attitude of life. Flowing with nature. The ultimate art of mindful living is wrapped in 2 words. Flowing along, compliance. It is like water, the softest substance. Yet no rock can resist its erosion. Flowing down a mountain, meeting a giant rock, water doesn't stop to curse it or try to smash it. Water simply weaves around it, in a narrow bend. It rushes, in a wide bend. It meanders, poured into a square cup. It becomes square. Poured into a round vase. It becomes round. Water adapts perfectly. Infinitely soft, never losing its pure essence. Your life is an endless stream of events. The only way to avoid getting bruised is to act like water. Don't force the river of life to your will, flow with it. When things come, open your arms to receive and do your best. When they pass, gently let them go. Like wind through bamboo, the wind leaves. The bamboo stands still. Practicing this great letting go, the burden on your shoulders vanishes. No need to strain to play a perfect role. No sleepless nights fearing the future. You return to life's most primal state, free, transparent, and light. This audio journey concludes, but your awakened life begins. From now on, you need no remote temple or guru. Your body, breath, and heartbeat will be your greatest teachers. Walk this earth, in this moment, with a newborn's eyes and a soul devoid of sorrow. You are home. Welcome back to yourself. Conclusion. Returning to the pure home. We have reached the final moments. Yet this is the starting point for the freshest, most radiant chapter of your life. What shimmers behind these words isn't a distant destination you must struggle to reach, but a gentle invitation. It is time to set down the heavy backpack of half a lifetime and open the door to your own home. Peace right in the middle of life's market. Many mistakenly think absolute peace requires a grand escape. They think they must quit their jobs, move to a quiet forest hut, or wear monk's robes, cutting ties with the noisy world. They assume material and spiritual lives are parallel, irreconcilable lines. But dear friend, the truth is simpler and warmer. True awakening doesn't ask you to turn your back on life. Instead, it teaches you to dive into life with profound love. Without getting scratched, you needn't flee the noisy market of life. Because when your inner self is a still lake, traffic horns, a complaining boss, or crying children are merely passing sounds, incapable of muddying your priceless inner peace. You still wake up, sip hot tea, and drive to the office. You still work hard, sign contracts, and pay bills. You return home, cook a delicious dinner, hug your spouse, and care for children and grandchildren. The external form of life may not change, but your inner material has completely metamorphosed. You do everything with a completely free mindset. You drink tea and truly taste it, rather than drifting into future plans. You love your family with a clear heart, fully present with them, unattached to controlling them. You welcome success with a light smile, and smile calmly at adversity, knowing they are just clouds passing through your vast sky. That is the greatest miracle. Peace isn't a place devoid of storms. Peace is the solid, silent presence right in the eye of the storm. Amidst the competitive mundane world, you stroll freely, neither rejecting nor entangled. The transparent being all our lives. We chase mind-woven concepts. We define ourselves by titles, bank balances, public praise or criticism, and roles as parent, boss, or employee. Those coats are too tight and heavy, making us forget who we truly are before the world named us. My final message as you finish listening is, allow yourself to let go. Let go of the need to be perfect. Let go of yesterday's resentments. Let go of tomorrow's fears. As you peel back the layers, the concepts of right, wrong, good, bad, success, failure, what remains is a transparent being. That being has no form, no age, and is unharmed by time or illness. It is a bright, pure, and pristine awareness. It is always there, never born and never perishing, silently witnessing the play of your life with unconditional love. You searched for happiness everywhere. You exhausted yourself chasing phantoms. Now, the circle is complete. The final destination isn't at the end of the road, but right at the starting line. Right in every breath in and out. Right in the heartbeat in your chest right now. The search is over. You need go nowhere else. No need to try to become someone else. Right here, right now, you are a perfect presence of the universe. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, smile, and feel the spreading warmth. Welcome back home.